Dang. Another one. Another one of those long, boring talks. But like I said, it's just on my mind. It's therapeutic. It's the same. It's the same water, just different oceans and lakes and faucets, toilets, bathtubs, you name it. But here's the talk. So, recently, two people passed away. And two of those people were taken away from this world by force, not by natural causes, not by natural organic means, by pure pure hatred for the opposition. One was targeted because of how they were born, not because they've done anything wrong, but because of how they were born. Just like you can't change your height, I guess your own biology. Um, just like you can't rewind time and change your own age. You could try to hide it with a lot of makeup or, doing healthy stuff, but you just can't change that. And she was unalived by, ironically, the very people that she support. When she passed away, there's unfortunately two narratives. One narrative, they they promote and agree with you, and the other one, they agree with you and promote. And let's just say the main person is CNN. When she was unalive, nothing was said. And then when it was forced to the table, this well spoken black man said that um, it wasn't a racial issue. When the man on the train that unalived this refugee that y'all all want here, by the way, crazy, right? Anyways, man, he said, "I got that white girl." So, two times. I counted three because I saw different videos, but everyone here heard him say, "I got that white girl," two times. So, my guess is that the reason why it wasn't brought up was because who supported them, someone who supported them got unalived by the people she supported. So for CNN and other medias that are like-minded like CNN didn't want to speak on it because it's like, oh no, we messed up. The second person who was unalive shortly after was Mr. Kirk. Mr. Kirk was the, I guess you could say, the textbook template of what a right winger is. You know, all for God, Christianity, all for marriage and no divorce, all for raising kids the proper way, and all for making this country, or any country, you know, not just America, but with that mindset, with his mindset, to make your own country less embarrassing. Getting a little bit off topic, we've become a little bit unhinged and uncivilized because of how far we've come with technology alone. But if you think about it, without this technology, we wouldn't be as unhinged as we are. And the more we further and develop new technologies to connect with one another, the more uncivilized we become. Now, regressing or digressing, sorry, mixed up my words there. Charlie Kirk was a right winger, like through and through. And people disagreed with his opinions wholeheartedly. There are topics that he brought up that I didn't agree with. Not so, like, I would say like 60 to 70% of the things he was saying I agreed with. So more pros than cons that I agree with him, and some that I didn't. But because of his opinion, mind you, he wasn't going out and going to other countries and harming, with a hard R word, children or women in general. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't illegally hopping any borders or overstaying his visa or anything of that nature. He wasn't doing any of that. He spoke against that. And because he spoke against that, it hurt a lot of people's feelings. Now, if I say something to you that you disagree with, you are still alive, you're still breathing, you're still making money, you're still eating, you're still visiting your families and friends, you're still here. So whatever I say shouldn't matter. Eventually time will reveal all truths. So there's a fact and then there's an opinion. And with Charlie Kirk, all he was speaking about at the end of the day was an opinion. And you disagree with them, I disagree with them, your mom, your dad, your friend, your college roommate, your roommate, your coworker, they all disagreed with him. But doesn't mean that the things that he was saying was true. Because here you are, still around, still breathing, doing what you do every day, and you still disagreed with him. He wasn't harming you. You just disagreed with him. And now that he's gone, his unaliving was well deserved because you disagreed with his opinions, not facts. His opinion. So keep this in mind, that when people have a disagreement, whether we want to listen to it or not, we have to talk it out. Unfortunately, there's two sides. You know, I want to safely say, ideally, everyone wants to be in the middle, and they don't want any part of any conflict or any war or whatever. You know, we want to be in the middle, but unfortunately, me, you, we are all dragged to one or the other side. And because we are dragged to either one side, we have to choose a bigger ally to support at least some of what we value. It might not be everything, but at least something of what we value. And when these two sides divide and they try to talk to each other's value about each other's values, one person will get mad. They will cut you off, scream, yell, say fascist this, racist that, whatever. They don't want to hear it. Even though it's just an opinion, they don't want to hear it. The person that doesn't want to hear it, the person that doesn't want to listen, will want their voices to be heard, but not the other way around. So one person has to become tolerant. Tolerant to deal with like an equivalent of an overbearing boss or an HOA that has too much power and control tolerant. And when you cross the line, that's when talking becomes a thing of the past. With the passing of Charlie Kirk, the right wingers, the Nazis, the racists, the misogynists, however you want to call it, whatever you want to label it, because of Charlie Kirk's passing, they definitely had enough of it. Because the attempt on Trump was like, hey, cut it out. So that's one. With the attempt on Trump's life, let's be honest, everyone on the left, each and every single one of every person on the left was celebrating, high fiving, wishing that the person had better aim, and the list can go on. Then the second straw was I I'm gonna butcher her name, but Irina, um, 23 years old. That is crazy. She wasn't even around for 9/11. Like think about that. A young girl who escaped a war zone, lived an average life, working, waiting for things to die down so she could go back to Ukraine, gets unalived by a criminal 14 times. Y'all talk about Trump. Oh my God. Was let go 14 times. Because back in my day, there was a 3-strike rule. Everyone was afraid of that. Everyone knew about that 3-strike rule. I was afraid of that 3-strike rule. People who were under that 3-strike rule, I felt bad for them. Because 9 times out of 10, they were a man. And 9.5 times out of 10, they were a black man. So they had 1 to 2 strikes against them already. So this man who had more than 3 strikes against them took it upon himself to delete this young Ukrainian woman who just got off of work. That's crazy. Like, imagine minding your own business, getting off of work. You just want to go home and, I don't know, watch TikTok or make a reel for your OnlyFans or something like that. Whatever you do, and then randomly, unprovoked, you get deleted by some dude who you support, who you defend. And then when you get deleted, no one speaks about it. And it took social media and, you guessed it, Fox News to speak up where CNN won't, because they knew she was a Black Lives Matter supporter. So the fact that you try to sweep it under the rug, that's a second straw. That's a second strike. The third was Charlie Kirk. You see, whatever affiliation you believe in, whatever affiliation you support, the fact that, which, let's be honest, it's every single person on the left, is celebrating, laughing, making t-shirts on sale, making memes, and believe this or not, threatening his now widowed wife. That's the third strike. And as we sit comfortably behind our phones, thinking that we are safe, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Everyone who believes in whatever political spectrum, they make it loud and they make it proud. There are ways that people could find your information. For all I know, my accounts could get hacked right now and they'll know who I am and everything about me. So while you're sitting comfortably behind your phone and talking all the mess you want because someone passed away because they had a different opinion of yours, there's going to be someone out there that's going to find out who you are, and then they're going to bring their own justice in some way. You're going to walk around with your dyed blue hair or green hair or pink hair or red hair, you know, have your anti anything that's not pro left, whatever. They're going to see that, and now you made yourself a target. So, fair warning. Even though, because I like 60 to 7, you know what? Like most of what the left believes in, I don't believe in. I don't. You guys are crazy. You guys are wild. Like you guys are literally one step away from like the end of human civilization. The end of human civilization. And most people that are left thinking are black. So even though I don't agree with you guys, because I am the way that I look, they're going to associate me with you guys, and that puts me at danger. So now that Charlie Kirk is gone, now I gotta watch my back. Because you guys not only reveled in his demise, but you're also antagonizing his wife who had nothing to do with anything. Like it's crazy, you know? Like that's wild. Like he wasn't behind 9/11. You know, he didn't conspire with Adolf Hitler. You know, he didn't overstay his visa or hop the border or whatever, or try to impose his religion on you and remove your head from your neck because you don't agree with his religion. He didn't do any of that. Y'all just open up a whole can. See, here's a funny part. Here's a wild part about all of this. There are different types of ethnicities and skin tones in the United States alone. And the darker skin, my shade of people are 13% of that. Let's just say African American, Black descent, whatever, that's 13%. Give or take. It's definitely not 50%. We're definitely not the majority. We're 13. That's a very insignificant number. So we are a minority. Now keep that 13%. That 13%, we are also responsible for most of violent crimes, not petty crimes, violent crimes. So if we are a small minority responsible for majority of violent crimes that are going on, and people are sick of it, and now that Charlie Kirk is gone, what do you think the majority will do with the few, the weakest links? What are you going to think they're going to do with this? Just think about it. Because listen, I know for a fact that, my grandmother and my great grandmother, they had a small taste of what these guys are capable of. A small little taste of what they're capable of. We have an idea, but we've come so far in life that we forgot history. And you think you're oppressed now, but you haven't seen anything yet. You think that you're being targeted because of your skin color. You don't know what that is. My great grandmother knows, but you don't. Your great grandmother knows. Your great grandfather and everyone else, they know, but you don't. And because you haven't had to deal with that, because you're so comfortable, you made yourself complacent. And because you're complacent, you're gonna slip up and get yourself Charlie Kirked.